Welcome. In this demonstration we're going to just put on the little flowers in our spring picture, and actually I'm going to add some grass into the very front of our picture. So this is where we left off. The brushes you're going to need are, you'll need a number 10 watercolor brush for the grass at the end, and I'm going to use a nylon bristle brush for the little flowers at the bottom. So to get started, you won't even need a mixing palette because we're really not going to be doing too much mixing. I'm going to get the reds and the magenta here, the kind of warm colors, wet for my use. If yours are already wet, not a problem, but mine are dry and I want to get them nice and wet. And then basically for the flowers, I would say just try to arrange them so you know you've got little pockets. Of course, the ones in the front should be the biggest, the ones in the middle ground should be the medium size, and then ones farther away should be the smallest. And try to, when you do them, make them look spontaneous, make them look like they're actually natural flowers. Don't sit there and draw each one out. You know, and they can be nothing more than little blobs on the surface of your painting. Might even look nice if a couple of them are in front of the tree. And maybe I would say have a variety. Usually wildflowers are a bunch of different kinds of flowers growing together all at the same time. So I would say, you know, try your best to make a variety of different kinds. And depending on how you control your brush, you can try to just make a couple different brush strokes so that you've got a variety of brush strokes. Again, this would be repetition without pattern, right? We're repeating the little teeny brush strokes. We're repeating the same colors, but we're not making a pattern, so to speak. Okay, you don't want it to look like a pattern because nature such as this would never have a true pattern. It would just be repetition. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of fill a couple more in here, just making little pinpricks. Might even want some overlapping the bases of the trees. Okay, and this will kind of look like then you've had a nice variety of flowers. This is going to be about control of your brush and your water. You don't want them to be too wet, but you don't want them to be too dry either. Okay, so there's just kind of a smattering of little flowers. I'm even going to put some in here so it looks kind of like it's more full, going all the way up the paper. And notice the ones in the front again are larger. They're not small little dots, but they're larger flowers. Alright, so in that sense now we'll get to the little grass part. The grass is going to be very easy. What you want to do is you want to get your brush, I'm going to actually clean my water out. You want to get your brush wet and kind of load it with pigment. But then at the same time you want the brush to be dry when you end up working on it so that you can spread the bristles apart. So notice I loaded my brush with yellow there. Now I'm going to load my brush, tip it with a little bit of green, so I've got the yellow and the green together. And then I'm going to take my brush and spread the bristles apart like this. And I really want to take this and dry off the base of the brush so that the bristles have pigment on them, but there's not a lot of water. And then I'm just going to take this and kind of not flick it, but rotate my wrist like that to make little grassy texture. So you can see how that little grass texture comes through. And in order to get that, you do have to have your brush bristles spread apart and have them dry. Be gentle with this. You don't want to ruin your brush, but you do want the texture to come through. And again, if you use yellow and yellow-green, that will read as greenish grass. It won't read as just pure yellow. And where you've got the green grass, you might want to try the yellow. Where you've got yellow grass, a yellower grass, you might want to try the green, so that you have a variety of overlapping colors. And as you get farther away, you would have them be smaller and farther apart. Okay, so that kind of finishes off the little field there, and you'll notice how that will give a little bit of interest to your grass. And that concludes how to paint the flowers and the little grassy areas in for the bottom of your painting.